Hello. I present paper ETLT 2021, shared task on automatic speech recognition for non-native children's speech. As the chairman said, this paper is the result of a collaboration between ETS, US, Cambridge University, UK, and FBK, Italy. Unfortunately, this year a special session was not organized at Interspeech due to the insufficient number of accepted papers. So a brief overview of my talk. First of all, I will describe the dataset released for the challenge, then some statistics on the submission, then some comments on the best systems, and I will summarize and try to synthesize the results. So we organize two different tracks for two different languages, English and German, a closed track and an open track. There are two links that you can visit, the website of the challenge and the CodaLab site for the submission, and there you can find the list of the participants and the results achieved by the various submissions. What is important to notice since now is that the performance of the best systems greatly improved with respect to the baseline systems, especially for German. And the baseline systems are state-of-the-art systems. The audio resources in general for English and for German. And as you can notice, for German, we have much less data than for English, especially transcribed data, only 5 hours for training. ETS data. This data set is interesting because the recording comes from non-native speakers taking global test of English speaking proficiency. Speakers are students aged above 11 years, coming from middle school and lower level of high school. And interesting is that these speakers have different L1 languages. So they come from South America, Korea, Japan, Turkey, mainly. FBK data. In this case, the recordings have been carried out in Italian schools where students took proficiency tests in both English and German during years 2016-2018, so free evaluation campaign, and students are aged between 9 and 16, and the tests are in agreement with level A1, A2, B1 of the Common European Framework of Reference. So in this data set, students took the test in the same classroom, and the problem is that the microphone remained open after the students ended their answers. So there is a fixed duration of the recordings, and this caused a lot of noises collected by the microphone, and also a lot of extraneous phenomena, extraneous speech phenomena, for example, jokes with the mates, comments of the teacher, indicators of the teachers, etc. German task, as I said before, is much more difficult than English, not only due to the fact that we have less transcribed data, but also in on the untranscribed data we have a lot of background silence in the recordings due to the open fixed duration of the microphone. FBK recordings could be particularly interested because they contain many switched words, mispronounced words, hesitation word fragments. So all these phenomena are carefully annotated in the data. Yeah, you can see an example. And so it could be also interesting, this data set, for doing research in these fields. Text data. Text data comes from the manual transcription of the audio recordings and also from the written sentences of the Italian students taking the proficiency tests. We perform some normalization because the sentences contain, the written sentences contain many, many errors. Lexicon. For a lexicon, we provide, we use the CMU phonetic lexicon, and for FBK data, we also provide automatic transcription of unknown words and of switched words, so German and Italian words, using a sample lexicon. And for German, we provide two lexicons. So each German word is preceded by a language identifier, and we transcribe each word with a phonetic transcriber of the corresponding language. In the first lexicon, we use 3 different phonetic sets for German, Italian, and English, so we have some overlap. And in the second lexicon, we provide a German lexicon using only German units. Baseline are Caldi standard recipes, and for German we performed 2 training steps. First, we transcribe. First, we train an ASR system using only the small training set. We automatically transcribe the other training data and then perform final training. As I mentioned before, the channel condition are, we organize two tracks. One closed track where participant can only use the distributed training data, and an open track where an additional data can be used. What the evaluation measure is the error rate. For German language, in the reference, we removed extraneous phenomena, fragments, spontaneous speech, speech in switched words. These are the results of the various submissions for the different tracks. So, first of all, as you can see, we notice a large improvement with respect to the baseline in all the tracks, both closed condition and open condition. And especially for the German language, this improvement is impressive. So, the error rate is approximately halved. This is the list of the accepted papers. As I mentioned before, a special session was not organized. So now I will give some details of the best systems of which I am aware, and refer to these papers for more details of the best systems. Okay, English closed track. The best free systems use a hybrid architecture with data augmentation. One system uses make use of mispronunciation modeling, and it is effective. And n-gram language model and recurrent neural network, and language model, and also recurrent neural network for this language model for scoring. Open track. Okay, in this case, the best system is a transformer, an end-to-end. It is first trained on audio speech and then fine-tuned on the data of the challenge. Also, another system makes use of sequence-to-sequence system, an end-to-end system. German closed track, maybe this is the best interesting system, the first one, the best performing system. As far as I have understood, they use, okay, the system is also in this case a sequence-to-sequence. They make use of several iterations of pre-training on the transcribed data, then fine-tuning, and then data augmentation, and then transcribe the untranscribed data, and then again pre-training, data augmentation, and fine-tuning. So very interesting. Second and third system are based on Caldi recipes. All these systems use data augmentation and rescoring with language model. German open track. Okay, basically there is only all these systems are the same submitted for the closed track. Only one, but I'm not sure because the participant claimed that it is open, so it was submitted on the open track, but as far as I have understood, they don't added audio data for training. They didn't add audio data for training. In summary, we see that three of the best system among four make use of end-to-end architecture. Only the best system on English closed track use an hybrid architecture. In conclusions, we observed a large improvement with respect of baseline performance. Hybrid systems perform quite always better on closed track. This was, let me say, an expected results, but we also have an end-to-end system which also perform really very well, also without adding data. All systems apply data augmentation. Modeling pronunciation is effective, so also these are not surprising results. For English, adding data seems not to be very effective, so we have not detected a large improvement from open condition for English from closed condition to open condition. This result was also observed in the challenge we organized last year at Interspeech 2020. However, this year we have to say that we have a larger variation in the L1 language of the speakers, so they come from different countries. Last year they were only from Italian. Okay, let me say that ETS data, if you downloaded ETS data, can only be used for the challenge, so you cannot use outside the challenge. And if you are interested to use FBK data, you can download the data, visit the website of the challenge and follow the instruction. You can download the data and use the data for research purposes. Okay, this concludes my talk. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much. So looking at the display that I have, I don't see any raised hands, and I also don't see any questions online. Alessio, can you tell me if anybody in the conference room has any questions? I can't see that from where I'm sitting.
Yes, is there any question from the audience? Yes, there is one question.
Thank you. These are really interesting results, and it looks like the performance of some systems are quite marginally larger or better than others. Is there an idea why they are actually so much better than other systems, or did they do some analysis, or?
So your question is why end-to-end system is better?
In your chart, maybe if you come back to the results, it looked like a big drop in performance, improvement in performance compared to other systems that are more similar. In particular in German, but I guess this is not fair because they can use any open data source also.
Well, but even in the closed track, it was very good.
Yeah.
So the bars. This slide?
Yeah, the blue, yes, this slide. So the best systems always seems to be better by a very significant margin. So any idea why this is happening, or?
So in my opinion, you know, when we participate in challenges, scientific community participate in challenges, we develop system, we train model and architecture which are specifically tuned for on the data of the challenge. So the goal is to win the challenge.
Oh, okay, so,
you develop very, maybe the model overfit the data of the challenge. So you cannot generalize these results.
So, okay, so rephrasing this means that those people were just a little bit more dedicated to the winning the competition.
Exactly.
Okay. And another question, maybe if I can just follow up. So, children's one characteristic which is very obvious in different ages is that heightness, right? So, were any of these systems using actually classical vocal tract length normalization techniques in the front, or were they just relying on end-to-end black box approaches?
So sorry, I didn't understand. I think I didn't understand your question.
Yeah, so
could you rephrase?
One characteristic that the voice of children is different, for example, from adults, and also different ages, is where the formants have their peaks, right, because of the length of the vocal tract. And I think that some of the people who participated in this competition had done some children's speech recognition before, and they found that vocal tract length normalization actually quite powerful. I'm wondering if that is something that can be still used, or is that not necessary with the end-to-end systems?
I have seen that one system maybe used vocal tract length prediction, something like that. One system, yeah.
Yes. Okay, thank you. I wanted to interrupt to take one question online from Vladimir Batayev. Vladimir, if you're there, could you go ahead?
It is ringing, but
it is ringing. It doesn't answer. Okay.
Vladimir is not picking up.
Okay. Well, we'll let that go then. I agree. A very, very impressive gap in performance by the lead system. I assume that on the German side it's the same GC1 and the best closed system and open system were the same organization because they use the same training, but we'll have to read the paper to see how they did. Okay, so let us all thank the speaker once again, and please go ahead, and we'll move on to the next talk.